Hi everyone, it's DJ, and today is a good day for another book nook. This one is the Pastoral Diary. I have had it sitting on my shelf for quite a long time, so let's finally break into it. I don't know what brand this one is. I bought it either on Temu or AliExpress, and it doesn't say Cute Bee on it, and so but the box looks very similar to a Cute Bee kit. Let's see. These feel like, yes, they are stickers. Yay. Those are very pretty. We have some rugs. Oh, this one's funny, like fake fur rug. A decent amount of stickers. Here's our light kit. That is the Easy Connect. I love that. Here are our accessories. Some lace and flowers. Oh, they even gave us a screwdriver and some screws and some beads. That's nice. We have good quality, thick, clear window boards. Nice. These do have a protective film on both sides, so you peel them off and then they'll be perfectly clear. So this one is definitely not Cute Bee because it is in black and white, which is just fine as long as the instructions are well laid out, which it really looks like they are. So I do not mind the black and white. Yes, these are very thorough instructions too. These are better than a lot of the ones I have seen. This is a heavy stack of boards. These are nice quality MDF. Always like to see that. Certain pieces are printed on both sides. Here is part of our staircase. Some fun little details there. Here's our side wall. You are the stars in my dark and cold nights, shining and unwavering. That's pretty. The other side wall. I like the lace details. That's very pretty, and the colors are very nice. More decorations. Some nice windows. I love when they mark out where to paste objects. That's very nice. Pretty curtains. Very nice. I am excited for this one. This one looks very promising quality-wise. One of the very first things you should do before starting a book nook is to check and make sure the lights work, because I have made that mistake before. Put the entire thing together and glued the lights in and everything, and they didn't work. So this one with the 3 lights and the 1 connector goes in the bottom left. This comes out, and this slides in. like that. Now this one that is connected to the battery, this one goes in the top right. You have to be gentle with these. You don't want to bend any of those little prongs. Okay, that one is snapped in. Now we have this yellow cord, and one side of it goes into the sensor panel and the other one goes into this top left, and they look exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. That one there. That one there. Now, after all those are hooked up, now you can get batteries. And it looks like this one takes AA's. Yes. So once you put the batteries in, this metal piece does have to go across it to connect the batteries. And it's kind of nice to have only 3 lights, and the wires are not that long, so that means we don't have to string them super far in the Book Nook. I had one that had, it was either 6 or 7 lights, and that took forever. It looked great, but it did take a long time. So we can set this to the side now, and to save the batteries we can flip this switch up. See, the switch has to be closed for it to work. And the first items we get to assemble are the books, which is always fun. So let's find A4 and B1 and all these book pieces. So all of the boards are labeled. So this is the F board. E, D. Here are the C's. We need C41, 3 of these. So there. We need, oh, that just popped out, but that's alright. We need 3 of the A2s. Sorry, my camera was having a glitch. So we have 16, we have 8 of the A4s, 8 of the B1s, and now we're getting 6 of B3s. This is our tool to help us pop out all the little pieces when they're really hard to get out. So that's nice. Let's get our sticker sheet out here. So J1 goes on these. This whole section right here. Those are beautiful. The print quality is really nice, and the sticker quality is also very good. And here are the first 16 books. These are beautiful. I love the covers and the colors and the titles, and the quality of these is really good. The next one, these 6 get J2. Those are also super nice and cute. For these 3, we need J3. There are those. And the minis use J4. Step 2 are our scrolls times 6, and we use stickers J7. So those are these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With stickers, this kind of thing can be tricky. Just want to roll it carefully because you have one shot once it's stuck to itself. And you have to decide how tightly you want it rolled. I like them pretty small because they fit on the shelves better. And if you want to, you can roll them a little unevenly like this so that the tops stick out, and you could even tie like a thread around it to look like a string around the scroll. That's kind of fun sometimes. If you're struggling to roll these up, sometimes it helps to take a pair of little tweezers, and it helps you just bend down that first little bit and guide it on the other side with your thumb. And then that starts it, and then you can easily roll it up. Here are all of our beautiful little scrolls. Those turned out really well. The next step is this folded book. These are difficult with stickers. I'm just going to say it now. These are almost easier if you cut out around the sticker without peeling it off first, fold it, and then unstick it, and then press the pages together. I think that's what we'll do because it is so much easier. So these are J18, and there are 3 of them. So let's cut these out first with scissors. Now these do not have to be cut out perfectly because all we care about is folding them on these red lines, and when you peel up the sticker, all these sides will go away anyway. And this right here, this is the cover, so let's cut this off. And now we fold back and forth on these red lines. Okay, now that we have this accordion deal, now we can peel off the sticker. See, now we just stick, fold and stick. And then to bind all these together, we have the cover. These are harder to get perfectly even and square, but they're so small that they look cute any which way. And if it really bothers you, you can just trim them. Like there's this weird spot up here. You could take the whole book and carefully trim off the top. See, now it's straight. I could do that with the bottom. And now it's a little bit better. And I barely took off anything off the bottom and top. And here are our 3 folded books. Those are beautiful. I love all the pages with the flowers and butterflies. Next step are the bottles. And for this, we need our accessories bag with the beads in it. And we'll have 6 bottles. Let's sort this stuff out. We do not need any of the hardware. We just need this. The little beads and the larger ones. Usually these book nooks come with tweezers and this one did not, but that's fine because the quality of the tweezers is usually really bad. Like this is one of the ones that came in a previous kit and it's pitiful. You can barely do anything with it, so I highly recommend getting a nice pair of tweezers. And for these, the best glue to use on plastic items is actually plastic glue. This is plastic super glue. The problem with this is it's really runny, it's kind of expensive, and if it gets on your fingers, it is staying on. I mean, it is a super glue. So if you don't have a super glue or you're not confident with it, another glue you could use is this E6000. The problem with this one is that it is super thick and gloopy, so it's hard to get a little tiny bit of it, especially on something as small as those beads. You can also use Elmer's glue, it's just it won't be as strong of a connection. So since I have this, I bought this on Amazon for a fairly reasonable price. Just make sure not to get it on your fingers. And it is very, very strong. So it does not take much. It also dries very quickly. I like to get a little container like this bowl to put all the teeny tiny accessories in so they don't run away while you're building all the other ones. It would be even better to use a container with little segments so you don't mix up certain things, like all these books. You can also just use the box from the kit. And if you don't shake up the box, you can separate all your different sizes of books so they don't get mixed up for when it comes to actually putting them into the book nook. Alright, next step, we are assembling the mini envelopes J5 on our sticker sheet. And we need 3 of them. They do give us duplicates, probably because it's easy to mess these things up. So let's try it. Fold in the sides, then the big side, then the little side. Here's where it would be good to use the tweezers again. The more precise you are, the better these will look. That wasn't too bad at all. That is really pretty. It absolutely looks like an envelope, and since they give us 6 of them, we can make the extras and then put them wherever we want in the book nook. Here are our envelopes. They turned out really well, so let's put them in our little bucket. Step number 6 is our bouquet. This is in our other goodie bag here. These ones. And these ones. And it says to use J15, these pink stickers, to wrap the bottom of the bouquet so it stays together. I saved this nice centimeter ruler from a different book nook kit, and it has come in handy for this. So it says cut off about 2 centimeters of P18. Like this much, and we want 6 of these. Let's gather these into a bunch, and let's get one of these J15 stickers to wrap around the bottom of the stems. That worked out pretty well. Now we have these 3 different colors of P19. And before we cut these, I want to make a vase because that will determine how tall we want these, because it doesn't tell us how much to cut off of these. So let's find Q3 and Q6. So we need all 4 of this Q3. And Q6. And we're going to stack them on top of each other and glue them down like that to make a little bucket. Now for the wooden pieces, I always use E6000, or if I'm out of this, I'll use the Gorilla Glue brand that is basically the same. And this gets goopy, so clear the top off as best you can, and don't squeeze terribly much or else it will just come flying out and you'll have too much. And also be very sparing with this. You do not need a lot or else it will gush out and you'll have to clean it up. So just like that. And just kind of dot it around. I'm barely, not even squeezing the tube. You want just the slightest amount so that it doesn't gush out of the sides. Press these together really well and make sure they're all lined up nicely. This will take a little bit to dry, the glue, so once you have it as straight as you want it, just try not to touch it for a little bit. And this one says to take 36 centimeters of paper rope, which I'm assuming is this. That is the one drawback about black and white instructions, is that they're not very great on the details. And we're going to wrap it all the way around the bucket, and then also take 3.5 centimeters for a bucket handle, like that on top. So before we wrap our bucket in this, it would be best to let this dry to the point where these layers won't slide all over the place while we're wrapping it. Our bucket is dry, the layers are not moving, so now we can wrap it. But the instructions don't say to do this, but I know it will look better if we attach the handle before wrapping it, because then the ends will be wrapped inside. So take a little dot of glue directly across from each other, put the handle, just like that. Now we can smear more glue. Getting these started is always the hardest part. And you'll probably get glue on your fingers, but it's alright. You can wash it off. Secure the end with a little bit of extra glue, and you might need to kind of hold it there until it sets. That turned out better than expected. So now that our rope is secure, let's play with our positioning of these little flowers. Now, instead of wrapping these with the stickers, I feel like the bouquet would look better if we just kind of freehand set them in here. So I'm going to dump quite a bit of glue down into the bucket. And we'll place these in first. And then we can take each one of these stems and place it exactly where we want to make a cute bouquet. That is so pretty. Now we finally get to start building the pieces. So we need C4, C35, and C2. These pieces snap together very well. If you have some pieces that don't snap together very firmly and keep falling out, you're going to have to glue them with just a tiny bit of glue, and then that problem will be solved. Oh, I put this one on backwards. That looks better. Now we need C5. C6 and C8. Now we need the only other pieces on this A board, these 3 A3s. Be careful when you're popping these out because these tiny thin pieces can easily snap. So this one's empty. Now we have to glue these 3 together. Just the tiniest amount of glue. If you get too much, it's okay, just glob it on and then use like a pencil or your tweezers or some other kind of tool to spread the glue and get rid of the excess. This says to tear off J19 and paste it here. Here's J19. So paste it on the outside of the curves. That will also help these pieces to stay together better. That looks pretty nice. Now this slides down and these click there. And this piece that we just made gets glued right here, fitting perfectly. Now we need to glue on C10, which is the keyboard, right here. Just a little bit. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Now we need C9 and 11 and 12. Goes like this, I believe. Yes, and then these two connect. Be super careful while pressing onto these because this piece could snap if it's not perfectly aligned, and press gently down. There. Now this whole top can go onto the top of our piano. And we need D46, which is a bouquet of flowers. And we can glue it somewhere on top of the piano. It shows it like that. So pretty. The details are really nice on this, and the printing. And our next object is a box. Here's the bottom. Now we need J8. And paste it to the surface. There's a dotted line here, which means to put that on the corner. And then that covers the end. That is beautiful, and it was measured perfectly. Now C41. This one is C41. That is adorable. Now J13. Press and stick around the edge of the basket. That does not look right. These instructions are not correct because this shape right here doesn't happen with this shape right here. Neither does that. And I did make a mistake by using up all the flowers on our other basket, so we can find other flowers for this one. And I think I'm just not going to use this because it's also going to cover up our cute basket weave texture, so let's not do that. I'll put this back and maybe I'll use it as a little rug somewhere on the base of the book nook. But this is really cute even just by itself. These instructions are not as great as I was first thinking. But that is the beauty of book nooks. You can do whatever you want to them. You can customize them, you can change things, omit things. It's whatever you want it to be. So our next object is an easel. F33. F22. And C30. This little piece goes in the top notch. This one goes in the back, which connects it to this one. And then those top pieces fit together. Now we need F21, which looks like a purple version of Monet's Water Lilies. And we're going to glue it right here. So I like to put the glue on the smallest surface areas when you're gluing two things together. So just right there and right there, because then it won't be visible from the back. Super cool. Next up, we have this chair with D3, D4, two of these, D2, and D20. This one doesn't even say to glue this bouquet here, but I am going to. There we go, one adorable chair. Next we have whatever this is. Let's find out. It's a little tabletop, and now we get to use one of our little envelopes that we made before, and we're going to paste it in the middle of the table to cover up this hole, which will hold the base. Here are the base pieces, F1 and 2. These slip slide, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Now we need P21, which is this lace, I'm thinking. Actually, I think it's this one, that shape. Yes. And it is supposed to wrap around the table. Like that. So, let's put a very thin bead of glue all the way around the edge of the table. And start the seam in the back. I kind of like it how this top portion sticks above, so I'm going to do that. Gently press and line it up all the way around. And put a little bit more glue right here so that the other edge sticks together. That is super cute. The lace is a little big for the table, but it does look very nice. Now we get to make picture frames with D51, 52, 53, and J20 and 21. So by sticking the pictures on these blank ones, we're basically just getting rid of the sticky. And I'm going to cut it down just a little bit because in the first one I made it was slightly too big. And then this goes behind the frame like that. So we'll use a little bit of glue, just the tiniest amount, mostly on the corners. And center the picture. I changed my mind on this one. I don't really like how it sticks up here, so I'm taking some very sharp scissors and going really close to the edge to just trim off this top of the lace. There we go. I think that looks better. And we can save this for something else if we need it. Next, we're building this little toy box, I think. These ones. And that. And this one, we want the color to be on the inside because we're going to wrap the outside with this. Like that. And then we use J9. And that is beautiful. I love that they put the detail on the inside. That really makes it more special. And for the inside, we use two of these little vases, I guess, that we made before, and one of the rolled up scrolls. Cute. I think I will glue these in place though, because otherwise they're just going to keep falling out. Next, we're going to make this, I think it's a shelf maybe. Cute. And next we have another shelf, F36, with F42, F43, F41 gets glued to F43, and then F39. Like that. Now this piece that we made before goes on top of this piece in these 4 slots. Now we need the sides of the desk. And we glue G21 to the top. I put these on backwards. Let's try that again. These black and white instructions are a little difficult to follow in that regard. Okay, that looks better. Now we need to make the drawer. And the drawer slides in like this. It's a bit of a tight fit. There we go. All right, that's all we have time for today, so subscribe so you don't miss part 2.